Continue our journey of making our own game. So we have already learned a rolling Jedi, the following camera, and the interaction of the ground as well as the player. But we're going to make a game that's a little bit like Super Mario Bros. Or some, yeah, just famous 2D platformer. If you look at it, as I already said, if you look at it, you got a lot of repetitive elements in here. So, for example, the tile, the ground, is essentially the same. Okay, if you look at here, the green part, okay, essentially is almost the same. The red part is the same. The cloud is the same. Okay, so if you look at here, we got a lot of repetitive material, like you walk into a bathroom. Okay, so if the bathroom was decorated in tile, and you can see the repetitive pattern of the tile. And in game, we sometimes use this mechanism, especially at the early days of a game console, because they are not going to have a huge RAM and processing power to do that. So the game just stored on a device like this, and sometimes you may got a certain card to insert into it, but basically you don't have a lot of processing power and do not have a lot of storage power. It's not like nowadays we get hundreds of gigabytes of game, and we still want more or something like that, because we're not worried about this anymore. But it is a great mechanism for design, okay, and it's a great mechanism and great philosophy, even you can say that, to make your game, is that you build the essential elements and you repeat. Okay, so even though, say, you are doing a pretty AAA game environment that you want to generate a lot of trees, grass, something like that, it still works. Okay, even though you are not working in 2D, maybe 3D game, you still can draw from the knowledge of sort of like wisdom from the old ages of game development, is that you can use this repetitive pattern to design it, and it can greatly improve efficiency. Okay, so let me introduce you guys a great concept right now. Let me use my brush. So this concept is called sprite sheet. As the name suggests, it's just a sheet and got sprite on it. So essentially, I just store all this asset information into one image, and as long as I got that information information installed, so every time I do not need to generate that image, I do not need to import a certain big image file. I don't need that. I just need the combination of the image. So maybe we got a tile here. Okay, so every time I want to use tile, I just say I'd like to use a certain coordinate. Maybe a program is start from 0, right? So 0 0, we want that tile. Okay, so we can just 0 0 tile, 0 0 tile, 0 0 tile. So we got a platform. Okay, then our guy can stand on it, and then maybe we got some trees here. So this will be 2 1 1. Okay, so sorry, it will be 1 1, because start from 0, so this is 1. Okay, 1 1, and but we got a tree here, so 1 1 1 1. We got a sort of a green tile, so you can just stack it together, and we got a tree, sort of a tree-like structure. Okay, so in this way, you don't need to actually got the tree here. You just need a sprite sheet. You just get the coordinate info of the reference of that spreadsheet, and you can generate all sort of things, just like a game Lego. Okay, so you bought all these basic elements of Lego, and you can build a spaceship You can build a lot of things. Okay, and I think that's the funny thing, interesting thing about it. Okay, so if you search, let me just use the Super Mario as an example because it's a pretty famous game. Okay, so if you search a sprite sheet of Mario, and you can get a lot of sprite sheets, even though you can get a 3D sort of a sprite sheet, and even of a different character. Let me give you a typical one. Okay, I think this is just all these monsters, and let me just give you Mario's sprite sheet. Okay, so essentially we got this Mario standing still, and he start walking. Not walking, so start turning around. So if you are moving to the right, okay, let me just give you. So if this is your guy, okay, so if you're moving right, and sorry about that, I just got my phone. Okay, so let's continue. So if you got this guy, okay, and he's walking to the right, and you switch it, so you can get a certain input. Okay, so because we are developers, we're not going to just look at it and then say that. We need to treat it as a sort of pseudo code and connect that with the sort of a directive that we put into the code. Okay, so we got a certain input from the user, and we want to switch it. Okay, once we got that, we switch to the left, and we're going to sort of carry out this series of animation. Okay, so sort of like he's turning around, so we can carry out frame by frame. So if you are walking to the right, you sort of using this this animation. Okay, so it's actually running. If you are sort of boosted, you may run like this. Okay, so run pretty fast, so pretty fast. This will be just a run normal speed. Okay, this will be speed 1, this will be, say, boosted speed 2. And once you switch it, okay, so you want to switch it around, and you're going to carry out the animation of this. Okay, so exclude this one. Okay, so flip it, and you can get this flip it around in the game engine, so it will just run in the opposite direction. And of course you can use this if your character is boosted. Okay, so as long as you got this idea under your pocket, I don't know whether I said it correct or not, because English not my native tongue. So under your belt, something like that. Okay, let me just make it for sure. Right, I checked it. This is under one's belt. So under your belt, and we can start actually think about how to place it in our game. So the interesting way that I want to share with you guys of developing or learning knowledge in that matter is to think by yourself first, of course. Just to give you a amount of time to think by yourself, as if this technology, this method, has never been used before. Because this way you can train yourself to actually think creatively, as if you are responsible for humans that, a technology advancements or something like that. Okay, so but don't overthink it. You're not going to spend years thinking of something. You don't need to invent the wheels. But the point is, you need to think maybe just for 5 minutes, and you can compare the industry standards, or you can look at the essay, look at the article, and compare yourself and learn from them. This is a great way to acquire any knowledge in this world. That's sort of the requirements I ask myself. So as you guys can see, I also got a programming channel, got a digital art channel, got a finance channel, I got a music channel. Yeah, I adapt a lot of field in my life, and because and also I speak a lot of language. So I'm a avid learner. Even though sometimes I can't speak certain things, I will look it up. I'm always learning. So that's the way I want to demonstrate how to do that. Okay. So just to think of it, you got this sprite sheet. You want to save it. Okay. So once you got the sprite sheet, the essential part you need to do is to sort of compartmentalize it. Okay, so you want to make all this in compartment by compartment. So in this way, you know which one to choose, right? So you need to align them up in a certain network structure, and you just separate all of them off. Yeah, just forget about all my drawing because you got too much of the Mario, but you got the idea. So you need to put all that into a structure, and you sort of get this 2D environment. So this is X, this is Y. Okay, so we got this sort of 0, 0, and 1, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so something like that. I'm not going to write all that out, but you got the idea. So any time I like a certain element, I can just go to get that coordinate, like in chess or something like that. You get that coordinate, yeah, you got the element out. Okay, so that's my solution. Okay, so we're using a game engine, right? We're using a game engine such as Unity or Unreal Engine or whatever open source engine that you're using, and most of the time this engine have this mechanism. Okay, so the only thing you need to do is to, yeah, you can draw yourself, or you can find digital artists and to create that for you, or some designer to design the character to make that sprite sheet. Okay, and that is the place where artificial intelligence comes in. Okay, so as I promised in the previous video, we're going to use artificial intelligence to do that for us. And yeah, I don't know AI can do that until I don't know, maybe a year before. Okay, previous years, because I never thought AI can actually create sprite sheet. It's a pretty specific demand, and they can do that. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to use AI to generate sprite sheets, and how to sort of just change it a little bit and import that into your game engine, and to save yourself a lot of money to hire a digital artist or game designer. But no disrespect to game designer, you guys are doing a great job. I'm one of you. Okay, so I create digital art all the time, and create all the sprite for my game all the time. But I just want to demonstrate that it can greatly improve the design, the repetitive work, especially if you're doing an environment. Okay, you can use that to bunch generate all that, and you just focus on this whole just use holistic view to look at the game that you design, and look at what sort of idea that you want to convey.